instructions as they've said to do. And
what's the down the bottom right, Mark?
no, that's to take photos.
Oh, okay. We don't want to do
Listen,
that.
stick to what you know, John.
All right. So, do I have confidence
Not
that we
talking
have?
or what? What's his thing?
Look, sitting there looking pretty.
Oh, yeah, you were the pretty one.
There we go. All right.
There we go.
Hello.
So we are honored to be talking from Boston all the way to Sweden, Mark, with Sandra North.
Hello, Sandra.
Hi, how are you?
I am well. How are you doing?
I'm good.
What's going on in Sweden right there?
Well, right now it is about 9 p.m.
Yeah.
and our bright summer nights are disappearing quickly, as you can see behind me. But everything's good. I am trying to get my newest song out, so I am working really hard on that right now. I've been playing a bit this summer as well.
Fantastic. And what is the name of the new song?
So it's called Sure Thing.
Sure Thing.
And this is the first time I'm talking about it, so I'm really excited.
Wow, that's exciting, Mark.
A world debut.
World debut.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about this song. How did you come up with this idea? Where did you get the lyrics, and who helped you with it?
So with this song, it was kind of a new experience for me because I co-wrote it with a lot of other guys and females in all around in America, really. When I got to Sweden, I hadn't lived here in like quite a while, so I don't really have like a team here. So I was trying to like find other ways to be creative and get my music out there. So I've been talking to this writer from Ohio called Shane Grove. He's amazing. He's such a great guy, and we talked about writing something together for like quite a while, and then he pitched his team to me, kind of. So like I wrote it together with a whole group of people, Eric Westfall, and then we got Caitlin Lenner and Mike Callie, and then Shane and me, and then Marcus, who is a Swedish artist that I am doing this as a duet with. So Jimmy Marcus is his name, and he's from Gothenburg, and we got to know each other here in Sweden last year. He filled in for me at a couple of gigs, and he has his own stuff, and we have a very similar style, so we were really looking forward to do something together, and I felt like this was really the perfect fit for us.
Super exciting. Do you have a lot of music already out there?
Sorry?
Do you have a lot of music already out there?
I got some, yes. I got my debut EP I released in the summer of 2021. I released a couple singles before that. I have a Christmas song out with a California rock band called the Cold Waters. I released a country rock single last year as well, called Gone. So I've been busy.
You've been busy. The debut album you're talking about is named Long Time Coming.
Yeah, that's how I felt. I've been wanting to write music and sing my whole life, and it kind of took me long enough to get there. So I was just like, it was like an epiphany. I'm like, that has to be the name. That it was like such a short thing.
Yeah. Or the other name of it could have been Drain My Bank Account.
Oh.
Because I'm sure it costs a lot of money and a lot of time and effort to do this.
Yeah. Well, I was very fortunate in LA, though, that I was surrounded by a lot of talented people that were just my friends. So we ended up, it was like labor of love, and we just recorded everything through school pretty much, and wrote it at home, and I got like internships in different studios. So I was really lucky with that album, and we had everything kind of almost recorded before the pandemic hit, so we could just like do the last touches at home and kind of promote the shit out of it.
That's a lot of work and a labor of love, isn't it?
Yeah.
So let me
well,
ask
we all
you,
had a lot of time on our hands during the pandemic.
That's true.
Worked hard on that.
That's true. Let me ask you, what is the country music scene like in Sweden?
It's growing a lot. It's fun to see, because when I left in 2015, it wasn't really a thing at all. I wasn't even sure that country was what I was going to do. I just kind of fell into it, and as I've been gone, it's just like popping up more artists everywhere. And now we have a country channel, like a radio channel that's quite big, and just more and more artists all the time, and events and shows. So it's kind of a tight knit group because we all know of each other, and a lot of us are friends too because we do the same thing. But it's nice to see that it's growing.
Yeah. Now, do you guys get concerts? Who's the biggest acts that'll come over to Sweden and play if you have a country festival or a concert?
Well, this winter I saw Brett Young and Calissa Clark in Stockholm.
Excellent.
Really, really nice, yeah. And I know we have Tennille Towns coming over soon, and Avery Anna. I love her. I got tickets for that.
Oh, excellent. Good
Yeah.
for you.
So we do get some names over here. Yeah, I did go to London though. Sometimes they don't go to Sweden, so I have to go to London because they all stop in London. So I went to see Tennille Arts, which is one of my favorite girls.
Excellent.
In February. Yeah.
Sandra, you have moved around the world. You've been to Sweden, to LA. What is driving you to be relocating, that's going to help your music career?
Wow, that's a good question. I think when you start traveling, it becomes like a drug. You get used to it, and it's hard to stay still, I guess. And I love meeting new people. I love like having new experiences, and maybe also because I don't really have a family that way yet, so it's easier for me to move around. And I come from a really small town in Sweden, so it's there's not a lot to do there. So I always kind of wanted to see the world, you know.
So your first drive into the United States, you went to LA.
My first visit in America was actually New York, and it scared the crap out of me.
Well,
because it's rough.
You moved to LA at one point.
Yeah, I moved to LA. Yeah.
Now, how is the difference between LA and New York and LA and Sweden?
Well, I guess I was more like a lost tourist in New York, so everything was kind of scary. People wouldn't really help you out. If I asked for directions, I got run over. Someone chased me down the street. I had a lot of kind of scary experiences. So I felt like, I don't know if it's the weather, because in LA, people are more chill. You got the beach. Everyone's more laid back. And yeah. Plus, I lived in Hollywood, and I kind of made Hollywood into my own small town, maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like I had my friends in every corner, and like it doesn't feel that big once you get to know it.
Now, when you went home, do people say you've changed a lot? You've got a little LA vibe, or you're becoming Americanized?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I didn't know that much, though. I didn't think it was that bad. Like the mentality, yes, but then also I do struggle with the language because you kind of rewire your head. So it's hard for me to find Swedish words and expressions that I haven't used in a long time. So I just throw English ones in there, and they're like, "Oh my God, how long were you gone? Like, come on, you're born here." So yeah, they do bully me a bit.
So,
Yep.
Sandra, people can find out about you by going to your Instagram page, and that is Sandra North /official, and they can go to sandranorth.com.
SandraNorthOfficial.com as well.
Okay, sandranorthofficial.com.
Yes, that's the
Excellent.
website. Yeah.
Okay, so they can find out all about you, but let's hear about you. Tell us about your childhood and how you got inspired to become a musician.
I think I always wanted to sing. I guess it's from my parents because they both really love music. There's always been a lot of music playing in my house, and my mom sings a bit too. My dad plays the guitar or any instrument that he was fond of for the week. He like bought a saxophone and like, I'm going to learn how to play. And there was just a lot of music in my house. And I guess that's where it's from. I always loved dancing and singing, and I was always in front of the mirror. Yeah, I'm from a small town. I started in like a church choir, and I played some instruments. I was in the orchestra, I played the flute when I was really little. But I also had a stage fright, so it was really hard for me to get up on stage, like as the front person. Kind of, it took a few years before I did that.
And do you still get the pre-show jitters?
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah.
If it's like a situation that's new to me, or if I'm not prepared, or there's some element in there that's going to kind of throw me off, then it takes a minute to get back into the character.
Kind of like if the Zoom doesn't work properly.
What?
I say kind of like if the Zoom doesn't work properly and we have to
maybe it's
go
yeah.
to.
Yeah, so that's an interesting point. We should point out to our audience that may be watching this video when they go to our YouTube channel at Musicians and Beyond, that if you notice, the green screen behind us has no background effect. It's just a green screen today. Our Zoom failed us, so we went with FaceTime. So here we are talking to Sandra North. She's over in Sweden. We're here in Boston, Mass, in Winchester, actually, just north of the city. And we're having a conversation with Sandra about her music.
Yeah.
Excellent. Sandra, you sent over a couple of songs to us, and one of them is entitled Sure Thing.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to play that right now for our listeners and your fans, and then we're going to come back, and you're going to tell us all about how you came up with the lyrics for that.
Okay.
All right, so let's do it. This is Sandra North with Sure Thing. That was a sure thing with Sandra North, Mark.
That was a sure thing. Zoom has not been, but that was Sandra North.
All right, so let's go back. And can you tell us about that song?
So I really love that song. It's just a sweet summer love song, and I know that Shane, the guy the main writer that came up with the hook, he told me that he saw this boat in the Outer Banks with that title and the play with the word, because we're spelling it as HORE instead, and he just like, we need to come up with something good for this, and I love how it's balanced out between the male and the female. It's not just written from one perspective. It's from kind of both perspective of the guy and the girl, and it's just a summer romance and knowing kind of that it'll end, and the one person's gonna leave. So we got one from California and one from Tennessee, and it's just really sweet. I love it.
Yeah, I listened to it earlier when you sent it over, and it really was a catchy tune.
Thank you.
Yeah, we were very
Thank you
impressed.
so much.
Yeah, I wish I had the chance to listen to it. John didn't share that with me.
Shame on you.
Now, if you go to our email that we both get, it is in there.
Oh, boy, here we go.
I'll send it to you, too.
Well, thank you very much, Sandra.
Yeah.
It's so nice of you. So when are you returning to the United States?
In September.
All right. So when you
really
can...
soon.
I'm sorry?
It's really soon.
It's very soon.
Yeah.
When do you go back into the studio, and who are you going to be collaborating with next?
That's a good question. I'm so excited. I don't know yet. There's artists in Sweden that I would love to work with as well. I've been kind of, hey, let's do something, and trying to ask around. I also have a lot of unfinished songs, kind of. So I'm probably going to be talking to my producer and my co-writer in LA, like the second I land, and like, hey, let's finish our songs, because I really want to do that. And I love working with him. His name is Juan Abella. And we rewrote my whole album as well.
And say the name again?
We make a really good team, and I would love to finish the songs that we already started.
And that's Quanabella?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the songwriting process like for you? Are you one of those people that wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning after a glass of wine and say, oh, well, hey, or pour yourself a glass of wine and say, let's get to this. There was a thought in my head. I had a dream. How does the process go?
I do keep a lot of notes in my phone.
Oh, yeah.
I can be on the bus or wherever. And if, something turns up, I need to write it down, get inspiration from everything. And I'm such an emotional person. So whenever, you got your ups and downs and stuff happens in life, I got to write it down. And I kind of circle back around to it and try to find, the key point in that and try to make it into something good. Juan is really good with the music. So he's great with melodies, and it's good that we work so differently, because for me, it's more lyrically that I get to be creative, and he does the music really well. So we trust each other that way. And then we both have input also. So I think we make a good team.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So in Sweden, is the most popular wine red or white?
Rosé, probably.
Rosé. And what are you drinking today?
Especially in the summertime. Oh, it's rosé.
I love it. Well, usually John and I have a bourbon here in the studio, and today we're lacking that. So we got to get back to that.
We need to change that for next time.
Yes, we do. But I am sporting my Distillery 43 hat that distills our favorite bourbon here in our local area.
Oh.
Yeah. Next up, John.
Next up. All right. So
That's a good time for a pause and a sip.
A pause and a sip.
Yeah.
All right, okay, I like it. All right. You have another song out that's called Gone, and that's your newly released single.
Yes, that's the latest release that I have. Yeah. It came out last summer, and it was kind of written over a couple of years because we had the musical idea for it, and I kind of knew what I wanted it to be about, but it took me a little bit to write it, to get it like perfect the way that I wanted it. And yes, I loved it from the first second that he kind of created the riff. It just stuck with me, and I'm like, oh, that's we got to do that song. Yeah, I love the rock feel. It's kind of angry and bitter, and that's kind of what I do best. If you got a lot of broken hearts, you got a lot of guys to write about. So it's kind of directed towards that guy that you knew you shouldn't have gotten involved with, but you still did, and of course it ended bad. So it's my ode to all the men I shouldn't have dated. Pretty much.
Hypothetically speaking.
Yes. The names of the innocent have been changed.
Sandra, we talked a little bit about your younger days. We talked about now what's going on. Where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years? What is your ultimate end goal?
I would love to be on bigger stages and do festivals and develop more as an artist, both like writing and stage performance. You always want to do better and bigger things, kind of. I just want to have a shot at this as a career and see where it can take me, kind of.
Yeah. And do you have a favorite country act or?
Ooh, yeah. I want to have a lot of like idols. I love Kip Moore, but that's
Kip's one of my
for
favorites.
me. Female, yeah, Carrie Underwood probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, her voice is amazing. I love her presence on stage and her outfits and everything. She puts on a show.
Good. One of our recent guests was Harmony Kelly. She is the bass player for Kenny Chesney.
Oh.
And she was a very
cool.
interesting guest to have. And, we are big on supporting women in music. And she is a huge inspiration to a lot of women because she's gone through a lot. She didn't even think she was going to get the part because she, all the stories that went along with the audition process, and she ended up getting it. And there's a lot of people that look up to her.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
Yeah.
And who do you look up to? Who do you want to share the stage with?
Oh, a lot of people, but it's such a hard question. There's because you got the people that you've admired since you were a kid, and then you have like the new artists like Tennille Arts. I just adore her. She has such good songwriting, and she sings so well, and she's so present on stage, and she makes it so intimate, and you just kind of want to hug her. And I've gone to a lot of her shows. I really you get inspired when you see them perform because they're so flawless, and they do it so well.
Yes, they do. They make it look easy, and we all know it's not. It's a long road to get there, and you're on that road, and that's the best part is it's out there in front of you. You just have to get there.
Yeah.
So
Thank
you mentioned that's one of your aspirations to play on the biggest stages. How did you get over that stage fright that you started out with?
I just jumped in eventually. I think maybe just life, and I realized I couldn't live my life for someone else, and something was missing, and it was just like a lot of me working with myself and my thoughts because I'm not really I'm just keeping myself from doing what makes me happy by not like by being scared. It didn't make sense eventually, so I really wanted to go back. Like I just did all of it at once. I spent like 6 months in Santa Barbara at first, went back home for 2 years, just kind of mentally prepared for going back. And if I go back, then I told myself, then you got to do music full on. So I applied to Musicians Institute in Hollywood, and just they kind of threw me up on stage day one, uh, which I knew, and I was terrified. And my hands were shaking, holding the mic, and I was staring up in the ceiling, and I had tears in my eyes walking off stage. So it was, it was a scary moment, but it's developing. You know, it makes me, it's a good scare still. So.
Good.
I just kept doing it a lot, and like I was up there every day for a year, and you know, baby steps you feel as you're moving forward, and eventually it was just what I do, and it's normal.
You have a very unique and wonderful voice.
Thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. Do you play any instruments?
I do play the guitar a little bit. I'm always practicing because I want to do it better, and I do play a little bit of piano. I used to play the flute when I was little, also. Yeah.
When are you? Have you been down to Nashville?
Yes. Once.
And do you plan on? Is that part of the career path you'll choose, or I know there's a lot of like a lot. There is a big country scene, and obviously a lot of people go to L.A. More and more people are moving towards Nashville from all types of music. Do you see yourself there ever?
Yeah, I think I'm very curious, and I think that most likely I want to try it out at least, and I think it'll push me in the right direction. And there's so many other talented musicians there, so I feel like it's hard to do anything else. If you go, it's just like you get on the train and you do it.
Right, and I think the greatest thing for you is the supportive community you'll find there, and that genre. Everyone seems to be very, very helpful and very in tune with each other.
Yeah, even when you go to country shows, you notice it.
Yeah,
like even in the audience, people are just amazing. It's just a wonderful community to be part of. Like everyone will take you in. I've gone to so many shows alone, and I end up having like 10 friends when I leave. So it's a really nice genre.
So years ago, I went to see Kenny Chesney down in Nashville. We flew down on JetBlue. A bunch of people from Boston went down. We met these people, a group of girls that were going down. They were a lot younger than us, so they kind of hung near us, knowing that we'd take care of it if anything went wrong. Oh. Years later, I forget about it, and I'm sitting at the City Winery with my wife. We're going to a Kip Moore concert that night. She loves Kip Moore. Yeah. And she goes, Mark, these two girls keep looking over here. Do you know them? I said, I don't. I have no idea who they are. And they kept looking. She goes, Mark, they just made, I saw her mouth your name. You know her. And I'm like, I'm telling you, I don't know who they are. They walk over and say, hey, Mark. And I'm like, oh, maybe I do know them. It turned out to be those two young girls. So since then, my wife and I have joined them at Kip Moore concerts down the Cape, in Boston, and at different spots. Yeah, so it's pretty fun. And that's that community, right?
Yeah.
So
it's amazing. I love it so much.
And I love the fact that my wife can go to a concert with these girls now and off having fun, and I can sit there and do what I want and have a beer or have a glass of wine and enjoy myself.
Oh, can I join them next time?
Absolutely, would love to have you.
I always go to Kip Moore by myself.
You'd have a lot of fun with this group.
Yeah.
You know, music is such a special thing. It does bring people together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we like to say, it's the universal language. You can.
That it is. Now, when you, if you come back in September, you're going to travel through New York to go. Do you get to have any layovers anywhere?
I forgot. I probably do. No, wait. It's in Copenhagen. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it's in Denmark, so I'm good.
Then you're straight to LA?
Yeah.
That's a long flight.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's a long
I used to go Stockholm to LA.
Okay.
But they canceled those flights.
No kidding.
So I got to do, it's like a little 1 hour down to Copenhagen and then go all the way.
Yeah.
But it's a long flight. Yeah.
I was going to say, if you have a layover, you get to choose. There's some good spots to go to that you know, maybe get off the plane for a few hours, go out and play a gig, you know?
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, next time I'm in Boston, you guys have to take care of me for the day.
That we will.
We will come visit you. Absolutely. So you are on your path of, being a big-time musician. That's your end goal.
Yeah.
As you look at younger children in the newer generation of musicians, what kind of advice would you give them? Because you're kind of in the middle now. You've, started, you've looked up to people, and now you've kind of found your niche and you're like really working on it. So these younger kids that are really struggling, what kind of advice would you give them?
I think I would just tell them to not worry so much and believe in themselves. It sounds easy. It's not easy. I know that, but because I know how it is in Sweden. It's everyone cares so much about what other people think, and it's just like for me that it made it America made that easier because it's a very different mentality, and I would just kind of tell them to not care so much about other people's judgment or what people say. Just do what you love and be proud of that and try to do your best.
That's
great.
great
Yeah.
advice.
It is great advice.
Yeah.
It is great advice because a lot of these people, you included, aren't in it necessarily for the money. I mean, of course, you want to get paid and you want
Yeah.
to live a good life, but you seem very passionate about what you do.
I am, yeah, very.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to make a living out of this and do only this, but yeah, you get used to hustling and and doing everything. Like you take the long road. Like it's a lot of hard work and
Yeah.
dedication. And I think my passion has always been there. Like I've worked so hard, even if I'm like it doesn't matter. I'm very loyal and like a hard worker no matter what I do. But like when I kind of flipped that around and did it for me, it was just like a whole different ball game. Like I don't care how hard I work because it's for me, you know. So it's just going to benefit me, and I love it because it'll take me places maybe.
Now, Sandra, when you're out there playing gigs, is there a favorite stage, a favorite location that you just loved performing at, and it stands out amongst or taller than others?
Well, there's the Opry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be very cool.
Now, how about somewhere that you've played already?
I did play at Whiskey a Go Go. That was kind of cool.
That was good. Yeah.
Yeah,
How
yeah, it was nice because I know how many great rock bands have played there, and it was really cool to kind of be backstage and just like take that little staircase down, you know, to go on stage. So that was a cool thing to kind of check off.
I imagine it would be.
Yeah.
That's truly
Played at the Vibe Room as well, and then at the House of Blues in Anaheim in the
Oh, okay.
restaurant.
Beautiful. Now, how about if I make it over to Sweden, where should I go if I want to see good country music and hang out and be with a good crowd?
I'm going to answer that question for you, Mark. Wherever Sandra North is playing.
Yes, thank you.
How's that?
Yep. Well, we don't really have like a country place, not like a specific country restaurant. So I think you have to kind of keep a lookout for when the bands are playing because they'll pop up here and there, and they'll do country nights or country events. But there's not really not a traditional like U.S. country bar. I miss those.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, they're everywhere around here.
They really are.
Now in Boston, country is one of the biggest things.
Really?
Yeah, it's huge here in Boston.
Shoot, we have two radio stations right here in Boston, one just south of the city and one north of the city, and every big act comes here. I mean, we're filming shows all the time. Yeah,
That's very cool.
It's a big draw up here, and it's surprising, for such a liberal bastion of the country to be drawn into rock, and I think into country, and to see the number of kids growing up listening to the country and taking part in all the festivals and everything is pretty cool.
Yeah.
We'll have to get you up here. Like, you got to come up to Boston. We got to book a few shows with you around town. I think you'd have a lot of fun.
Oh my God, please do. I'll be there in a heartbeat.
We can make that happen.
It's good. So, Mark, we talked about her song "Gone," and we're going to play that right now because we want our listeners to find out how good Sandra North is.
Especially before she's gone from the show.
Absolutely. So let's do this. This is Sandra North with "Gone."
All right.
She was gone, and now she's back.
I like it.
That was Sandra North. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So tell us about that song. The idea behind it. We talked about this already.
We did kind of talk about it, yeah.
You had a little time between the two songs. I just thought about that. She did talk about "Gone" already, so we'll edit this part out and make that look better. But you should play it right after you talk about it next time, just so I'm
yeah, but it was like right on top of each other, and it wasn't.
Here we go again.
Here we go. we get paid too
Is
much
there
money.
manuscript there, or you just go off the?
We just go off.
Yeah,
and
we never. If it gets scripted, I quit. I'm done. I don't like to be scripted.
Yeah, and we go off on tangents sometimes, and depends how the whiskey's flowing.
That's true too. That helps.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it gets ugly sometimes. So, What else do you want to tell our listeners about you?
Wow. Yeah. Well, I would love for everyone to go follow me because I would love to see you all when I play. I would love to see you guys listening to my songs, singing along. If you're in my show, that's kind of like still insane to me. It's amazing to see that. I have like my town is really small, but I have a girl here who's like 17, 18, and she wrote me a couple of times on Instagram and told me that she really loves my music. And I was fortunate enough to meet her. She came out to my show and she was like shaking when she said hi to me, and she sat in the audience and she sang all of my songs, and I could cry. It's just such a it's unreal. It's so unreal.
That's really special.
Yeah.
That's super special. Yeah. What does that feel like when you look out into the crowd and someone's, maybe wearing a T-shirt with your face on it or singing your words? That must be so cool.
Yeah, no, it's out of this world. I can't take it in sometimes. It's everything I've ever dreamed of. It's very intimate. It's very strange. It's just so much love for. Yeah, it's crazy. It's amazing.
And do you have a little merch store?
I have a few things. I do have a physical CD of my EP. I have guitar picks.
Okay.
Which I thought was kind of cool. I got, and okay, so there are a couple of T-shirts, but not for sale. I would say that my dad made those because he really wanted to, but I have not printed them for sale yet.
Okay, but our listeners can get your EP by going online on your website and going right to your store and supporting your cause.
Yes.
Yeah. And speaking
or just
of,
send me an email and I'll sort it out.
Okay, we would love that. Speaking of causes, a lot of our musicians have a special place in their heart and like to help out those less fortunate. Is there any cause that you support wholeheartedly?
Well, there's probably a lot that I would love to support. At the top of my head, I mean, cancer is so horrible, and it happens more and more frequently all the time. It's really something that just feels not great. And it happens like I feel like right and left all the time these days.
Well, it's nice that you're able to use your success as a platform to help bring awareness and so forth to the unfortunate people that are stricken with that terrible disease of cancer.
Yeah.
So what else is going on in the future for you? I see a big smile.
I would love to write more music. I will write more music. I am transitioning back to LA, so that's kind of the next big thing right now. I will hopefully go back and forth and still play here in Sweden during the summer. And play festivals most likely, I hope, next summer here back home, and try to get my band back together in LA, hopefully travel some to Nashville and see if I can make more connections there.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And hopefully Boston is one of those stops for you.
Hopefully Boston, yeah.
Yeah, so to our listeners, you are listening to Musicians and Beyond, and we ask if you would please follow us on all our social media and our YouTube channel. And also go to sandranorthofficial.com and follow her at sandranorth_official on Instagram. And we can find out where she is playing next and what's going on in her life, and we can watch her journey.
Yeah, well, we're very happy you're over in Sweden. We want to get you back to America, get you back to LA, and get you to places where we'll be able to see you. I think that's going to be an exciting thing.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much.
So, we're really excited to watch your journey. We know that you're on a hard road, but you're on a nice, smooth road right now. So keep up the good work, and thank you for coming on and taking time and, working through the hoops of the Zoom problems earlier.
Yes. Well, thank you guys for having me.
Well, let's
It's
do
been
it just one more time. Let's do a little pause and sip.
Oh, yeah.
Pause and sip is always
Well,
important.
you need to take out the whiskey.
Well, I'm going to make sure. Well, I will. I promise. It's actually sitting on the counter at home. I'll make sure I get that. But we should write a song about that. Pause and sip. You know, it's a way to get through life. Pause, sip, and then get back to life. And
Yes.
Mark, we can barely do a podcast. Do you think we're going to write a song?
that's a good point. That's valid.
Valid point. So when we say goodbye, don't hang up. That will be just for the thing.
So let me ask you, how do you say thank you for being our friend in Sweden?
Tack för att du är min vän.
That's exactly what I was going.
I was going to say the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I looked it up. I just wasn't sure how to pronounce it. And then,
You did.
Mark, you're a sly guy.
Yeah.
You are sly.
I was trying to fit it in.
I actually taught my guitarist quite a bit of Swedish. During the pandemic, we were so bored. While we were recording the album, I was also teaching him Swedish. It was a lot of fun. He got pretty good.
Well,
so it's not that hard. It's a different pronunciation, I know.
Well,
it wasn't easy for me. That's why I had to ask you to do it.
well, Sandra, what you just said, I want to reiterate back. We want to thank you for. Go ahead, Mark.
No, you ruined it.
I've ruined it for you?
Yep.
This is our banter. I want to thank you, and I'm stealing Mark's thing, but I wholeheartedly.
The whole thing is, I let him open the show. I'm supposed to close the show, but he always tries to beat me to it and says the same thing. Like he's like stuck on repeat with my words. It's a terrible affliction.
Go ahead, Mark.
You can do it.
I'm not going to say it now.
All I'll say is you've already said it, and we appreciate your time, and we appreciate you being on with us, and we look forward to having you on again. We want to follow along in the journey. We want to see you out there performing and see your success, and we want to share in that. And any way we can support you, please let us know, and we'll be out there sharing everything on our Instagram, sharing everything on our Facebook. Anywhere we can support you, we'll be there.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
you.
It really means a lot.
Thank you for the music you bring into us, because it's very, very, very nice.
I can't help myself, but thank you for being our friend.
Thank you. Tack för ikväll.
That was perfect ending. That's our little banter. The people love the banter for some reason, so we throw that in there. And
yeah. No, but it's chemistry, of course.
It is chemistry.
They're going to pick up on that.
I'm going to need a lot of bourbon to deal with this chemistry, though.
Sometimes if we have too much bourbon, it ends up in fisticuffs over here.
Yeah, I was struggling with...
I was wondering what the hell you were doing over there.
Tack för att du är vår vän.
Ja, tack för att du är vår vän.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, because we have a couple of extra vowels that 3 more letters that you guys don't have.
Okay, yeah.
So it's the circle, the A with the circle.
No, I was trying to figure that out, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not easy.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely, we're going to watch your journey. We're excited for you. You know, we wish you the best of luck.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure
meeting you.
meeting
You must talk to a lot of people, but yeah, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, and we will...
And please stay in touch.
Yeah, absolutely. We will send you this. I'll probably have it done Monday or Tuesday. And we'll put it out there and, help you promote your new release and so forth. And if you would be kind enough to share it on your
of course.
Instagram and all that, and have your followers follow us, and we will do the same and try to build a bigger clientele.
You said like 10 days or no? How soon would it be out, you think?
It will be out, let's see, probably Monday or Tuesday, so 5 days. That will be the audio, and if we get the video going, it will probably be about that, right, Mark?
Yes, I'm hoping for Monday or Tuesday.
Does that work, or do you want us to hold it?
Because the song is out on the 25th, so if you could, I mean, they play, okay. I mean, it should be fine because it's like a pre-listening thing. They still can't download it, right? Or
correct, they can't download it. It's built into the audio, so I mean, we can even wait on it if you want us to wait till the 25th and do a world premiere of it.
That would be amazing.
Okay, we'll wait till the 25th.
Do it the same day or the day before is fine.
Okay,
perfect.
Less pressure on us.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So go in and check out our previous guests. We have a lot of people that are up and coming, and we have a lot of really strongly established musicians. We just did the band Extreme. I don't know if you know them, the 80s rock band. They're currently the #1 downloaded album in the world.
Oh.
Right now, because they just released a new album.
For people over 60.
No,
No,
not
I'm
over
just
60. That's you. We had someone from Carly Simon's band, Kenny Chesney's band.
One of the best parts I think that you'll find is if you do end up going down to Nashville, we have a very, very strong network of friends and guests and people that are down there working. And one of our friends went down recently, and she's already collaborating with other people down there that we knew. And
Wow.
yeah, so our network is pretty strong down there, and the friends that we know will embrace you and any help you need down there. It's a good circle.
That sounds amazing. I mean, I really mean it because I don't. Yeah, I mean, I would even want to move there kind of soon. I just need to learn how to drive. But I'm kind of starting over, because half of my band in LA, we were all international, so half of them moved back kind of to different places. So it's like I'm still starting over kind of again. I have some of them left. The producer is still there, but I also want to evolve. So I'm really excited. I would really love to go to Nashville.
But it's funny, you go from LA, you can go over to where's Emmanuel from? He's from Italy, but he's living down in Texas in
Austin.
Austin.
Yeah,
Italian.
love that.
Italian birth, lived in LA, lived in Austin now. He's living there, and he's who's he playing with now?
Creed Fisher. He's the lead guitarist of Creed Fisher.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Creed's
they're
got a
pretty-
very strong country following. He is one of those very strong patriotic American country bands. And
Okay.
Emmanuel, wonderful talent. So if you find yourself drifting back over through Austin, we've got friends there as well. So.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I was only in Austin for like 24 hours, but I really like the town, the city, and I know they have so much music.
Yeah.
So I've thought about that, either Austin or Nashville.
Yeah.
I also want to try
Emmanuel
something
actually
new,
goes back and forth.
I kind of know LA already. I spent 6 years there, so.
Right.
Yeah.
It's time to broaden your horizons and go over to Nashville, and I think you'll find that
Yeah.
to be a very, very good place for you and your career.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I'm excited.
Stop packing.
There you go.
No,
we're counting on you.
I've got 3 weeks left. I'm freaking out.
We're counting on you to do something here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you got the look.
No, I will.
You got the country girl look.
I do?
Yeah. You got the country girl look going on.
Thank you. Yes, I try my best. No, but I love it. I feel comfortable. I'm not 20 anymore. I feel like, I mean, I grew up with like pop rock stuff more in Sweden because we don't have country music the same way. I heard some, but it's not like a culture the same way. So it was more like we do classic rock and pop really well. But the second you encounter country, it's just like you fall in love with it.
Yeah, I don't think we got.
It's hard to go back from that.
Who were your greatest influences for the bands that you grew up listening to?
Well, like all the divas, Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, Celine Dion, and then the Swedish versions of that. We have a girl called Carola. She was like my first idol since I was born. Her voice is amazing. She's like the only diva that we have, and then, I mean, from my dad, I got a lot of rock. So like AC/DC, Bon Jovi, like a lot of that kind of thing. Status Quo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Very mixed. But there's a lot of rock in me. I can't be too sweet.
See, Mark and I like to tease each other that I'm a little bit rock and roll and he's country. So it's like Donnie and Marie, but I'm Donnie, he's Marie,
Oh.
You got to be who you got to be.
That's it. Whatever. And you pull it off good, Mark.
Well, thank you.
You do a great job.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, young lady. Well, keep up the good work.
Thank you.
And
It was
stay in touch. Let us know if there's anything like, you have up and coming that's big, any new releases. We'll put stuff out there for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we'll hold this and we'll send you an email when we're getting ready to put it out, but we'll send you a version first so you can see everything and share it with you. Okay?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Well, don't be a stranger.
You
right.
too. See you later.
Okay.
Peace out,
Bye-bye.
Sandra.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All righty then.
I don't know how to stop that. before I say anything that will incriminate me.
Oh, let me get up there. John, you can break down this stuff now.